Our investigative team also keeping a close watch on legal issues connected to the election. A Harris County judge granted voters an extra hour to vote last night. Then the Texas Supreme Court responded with a move that calls into question any votes cast after 7 p.m. Investigative reporter Cheryl Mercedes now taking a closer look at what this means for those late voters. Cheryl?
Len, a judge said voters could cast their ballots as late as 8 p.m., but a move by the Texas Supreme Court could disqualify votes submitted after 7 o'clock. I spoke with KHOU election law analyst Chris Feldman about what this Supreme Court ruling means and what happens next.
This stay, is this something permanent?
At the end of the day, people that got in line after 7 p.m. cast provisional ballots. They were segregated or set to the side to begin with. And it's up to the early voting ballot board to decide how to handle those provisional ballots.
Who does it consist of?
Early voting ballot board consists of people from both parties that are appointed by the county chairs. It works through issues regarding voter eligibility. Let's say you show up to vote and you just moved and you might have a different street address and you're not properly in the system with the elections administrator. You would cast a provisional ballot and the ballot is put to the side in a special envelope, and that's pursuant to federal law. Same situation here. People that showed up after 7 p.m. and were in line cast provisional ballots, a procedure that's already in place whenever there's a question as to whether or not a vote should be counted.
Is there any kind of legal action that can take place as a result of this stay before this board meets?
Unlikely that there would be any legal action before the board meets. The critical thing is when the board meets. And then whether or not there's any legal action depends completely upon whether or not any candidate that was on a ballot or any candidate, that was in the election affected by the casting of these provisional ballots, so that could be pretty much any candidate, chooses to litigate the issue because they feel the counting or not counting of those provisional ballots would somehow change the result in their election.
So the early voting ballot board could meet anytime between this Friday and November 14th. I tried to find out when they're meeting, but didn't hear back on when that meeting will take place. We'll stay on top of it.